son of this institution, a product of this, and a very exceptional one for that matter. So he would have loved to be here physically and personally, but for the exigencies of office and official functions, himself and other hierarchical, structured dignitaries are unable to be here. So please kindly take it that they are most represented here by the team that have been introduced to you. My name is Dr. Aboki, Dr. Richard Aboki, and we are of the Federal Inland Revenue Service with the team as introduced. So I want to also profoundly and respectfully stand on the existing protocol as established by the organizers of this event, and to say that you kindly accept this speech as if the executive chairman were here himself. Surely you can be fully assured that his spirit is here, but he's not physically able to be here. And the speech will be read verbatim as produced by the executive chairman himself. I'm pleased to be here this morning as a keynote speaker at this epoch-making event, Tax 180. The theme of this event is very apt, which is climate change, leveraging tax policies and ESG standards for environmental sustainability in Nigeria. It is no longer news that countries all over the world are shifting their attention away from fossil energy to other environmentally friendly renewable sources of energy that will keep our environment safe and more habitable to live in. This has posed a new challenge to the countries world over to look for a more sustainable means of revenue, as revenue from oil is gradually depleting due to low demands by countries all over the world. Some countries had even projected to stop manufacturing and use of cars that use fuel by 2030. Hence, attention is being shifted to electric cars. Nigeria must brace up to this challenge by exploring other sources of revenue to avoid looming fiscal crisis that will incapacitate the government from discharging their social and developmental responsibilities timely, considering the fact that revenue from oil constitute a large chunk of our revenue generation. This trend is gradually changing as FIRS is making concerted efforts to modernize the processes of tax administration in Nigeria, which has led to a drastic improvement in our non-oil tax collection. It is instructive to note that the sum of 12.3 trillion naira in 2023, with non-oil revenue forming the greater part of the collection. That is an indication that Nigeria is conscious of that and is thus shifting to other revenue sources as against relying solely on oil. Despite these positive results attained by the service in the reported collection during the year, a lot still needs to be done as our tax rate to GDP is still very low, hovering around 10.6% compared to some African countries, having a rate as high. For the avoidance of doubt, Seychelles having a GDP to tax ratio of about 32%, South Africa 29%, Togo 19%, Kenya 17%, and Egypt about 16%. These statistics show that Nigeria still has a long way to go and must come up with innovative measures to boost the nation's revenue from non-oil taxes. It is crystal clear that tax administration world over is constantly changing as a result of constantly changing business environment and dynamics associated thereto, and human interaction which has become very complex. Hence, the need for various tax authorities to evolve a more innovative way or ways to mitigate these challenges cannot be overemphasized. The service has embarked on some innovative reforms, which is technology driven, to improve tax administration in Nigeria, which has made the collection into the corpus of government in an upward trajectory. Some of these reforms include, but not limited to, one, automating the tax processes using Tax Promax solution, where the taxpayer can carry out their tax obligations of registration, filing, payment, and electronic TCC seamlessly. Two, establishment of world-class contact center to attend to taxpayers' inquiries and complaints 247 in major languages. Three, data-centric creation of a department which is majorly responsible for sourcing data with the view of enlarging the tax base. Four, customer centricity, making the taxpayer the king by attending to their needs through a robust taxpayer engagement, sensitization, and education programs. Five, catching them young initiatives to deepen the culture of taxation in Nigeria. Youth who are, or the Nigerian youth who are the future of tomorrow and the future of the tax-paying foundation. Reforming the entire structure of the service to make it more effective and efficient to deliver its mandate amongst others. 7, introduction of taxation in the curriculum of secondary schools. And 8, segmentation of our taxpayers for efficient and quality service delivery. And that attests to the facts and the practical demonstration of our presence here today, that we do not take your participation or your activity in the tax drive carelessly. We are very committed to that. The role of modern tax administration is not only to collect taxes, fees, and contributions, but to continuously invest in reducing the administrative burden of the taxpayers by improving the tax system and simplifying the procedures. The service wholly identifies with this program, which is partnership that is required to foster tax administration in Nigeria and deepen the culture of taxation amongst the populace. The service will do all it can to encourage and support positive initiatives and will assist in developing the tax administration for the overall economic growth and development of the nation. Thank you all for listening, and God bless us. Before I leave the podium, let me announce that we would have a mini drill, some kind of a question and answer session to enable us give the very token of souvenirs that we have with us. Some of the pitch. So if you didn't listen well, you may not win a prize. But if you listened well, I've already given you some exposition on some of the questions that may arise. Thank you all.
A round of applause for our keynote speaker. Sincere apologies for the mix-up earlier. The speech that was given on behalf of the executive chairman of the FIRS, and representing him was Dr. Richard Aboki. So a round of applause for that speech once again. While he was speaking, I was able to, pick one thing, which he said was entrenching the culture of taxation among students. And this speaks volumes to what we are currently doing, because as Tax Club, one of our goals is to entrench the culture of taxation amongst our members. And one of the ways in which we do that is through our annual tax event, Tax 180. So we are trying to also entrench the culture of taxation in Nigeria, just as one of the recommendations of the keynote speaker was made. So a round of applause for him once again. Thank you very much. Right about now, I would like to invite the president of the Tax Club of Obafemi Awolowo University to give us a very short opening remark. A round of applause for him as we come up stage. the president, and a personal friend for over 5-6 years now, I believe. Round of applause for him. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.